Hello, hello, Virgo. Welcome to your 2020 overview reading. It is so good to see all of you. And before we get started, I just want you to know that I will be offering a tarot pop-up in December. If you want to get notified when that happens, go ahead, sign up for my newsletter. Go to onyxhealing.com, or you can check out all the links in the description box. If you need to work with me, if you want to know which decks I use in this reading, everything is in the description box. But definitely stay on my newsletter if you want a tarot pop-up. I'll also be offering those in the future, so just stay tuned for all of that. And let's go ahead and get started. I am going to lay this spread out as always. Hello and welcome. If you're new here, take a moment to subscribe if you would like more guidance throughout 2020. But I'm going to lay this out and then we will dive in. Okay, let's get started with your oracle cards for 2020. First thing coming up, I praise the goddess and the god. Ooh, I really like this card. I actually think this is going to be a year of you really leaning into spiritual practice, whether that be meditation, prayer. You guys know I hold prayers every Wednesday on my podcast, like more manifestation, energetic work. It just seems like it's very, very heavy on faith, energetics, more of the spiritual side of things, really refining that for yourself and using that as a way to support yourself throughout this human experience that you're having. And then we also have listen quietly. Yep, it's that intuitive nudge. It's in the quiet spaces of your intuition, of that piece of you that's really connected to that God, goddess energy, whatever you believe in, the universe, divine source, Mother Earth. I mean, whatever it is, that quiet space is really where you're going to get the guidance and support that you need throughout 2020. This is feeling really intense already. So spending more time in quiet, making this a priority is going to be a game changer this year. So I would absolutely double down on that. And then we have community. Say it aloud to people you trust. Seek out like-minded and like-spirited collaborators. Rally the support of your network. Abandon pride to receive the gift of connection. Okay, so the element of getting crowd support somehow, or delegating, hooking into your network, expanding your network, that is going to be a valuable asset in 2020. And then the angel card is tenderness. Soften. That's the main thing coming through here, especially with this intuitive nature of 2020. That's absolutely what I'm getting for you. And then the central energy of your year, Six of Pentacles, reciprocity. You get what you give, leading with the intention of how you're spending your energy, right? Whenever you're going into something expecting an energetic exchange in some capacity, whether that be an investment that you're making for a project that you have, or an investment that you're making in yourself, trusting that you're getting these things back. And it seems like you're kind of raising the frequency of what you're able to receive. So that's the main thing coming through. It's like receiving more and more and more goodness. And then the crossing energy, we have the Fool. Taking a new approach to this is going to be mindful. Now, remember, when I'm saying you get what you give, that's not going to be true in every relationship. You can't like go into a relationship with, oh, well, I'm giving this, and so I'm going to quietly expect them to match me. No. You don't want to do that. But just understanding that is a good barometer to evaluate what's really going on in your relationships or in your environment. You know, are you giving too much with expectation that isn't vocalized? Are you withholding too much with expectation that isn't vocalized, you know, just evaluate the reciprocation and reciprocity within the things you have going on in your life, and don't be afraid to take a new approach. It's that fresh energy of the Fool that you have going on. And then what's shifting out for you is the Six of Cups. Oh, you know, the word slow is coming up with this, and I'm seeing this as a pace thing. So I think there was a lot of healing, recouping, a lot of stuff was happening underneath the surface. This card represents the inner child. Okay, so I'm getting, you know what, actually I'm going to clarify this, but the main thing that's coming off of this card is just the work that you've been able to do on that is something that's really prepared you for what's happening in 2020. So let's see what else we have coming up. Six of Spades. So yeah, forward movement. So this is exactly what I was reading into as far as the Six of Cups is the nostalgia piece, the inner child wounds, the part of you that's, you know, sticking with that tenderness theme. It seems like this is all in service of pushing you along into the next stages of your life, the next chapter. It's all building momentum, but I think things have been pretty dormant or slow, or they were being tempered before, and now things are going to begin to ramp up. The oncoming energy is the Page of Swords. So going off on your own, I'm seeing this as maybe there's something you're pursuing independently, or a new thing that you're doing, or new investments, new inspiration, new, and you're kind of carving that path and being willing to go out on a limb, explore, do all of that stuff. So this is exciting energy just because it's about making attempts and trying a new approach. Similar to the Fool energy, these cards are very similar energetically, but the Page of Swords is about following your inspiration. So if you're wondering, like, how do I get to the space where I'm able to figure out what inspired action is, you go back to listen quietly. Getting into that meditative state, that quiet stillness, is where things really start to open up. And the more you do that, the more you're going to be able to go off on your own and do things that feel really aligned with you. Same goes for if you're in a space of kind of picking up the pace and receiving more and being open to that. It's just going to create a platform where you can start pursuing more things for yourself. Now, this is your goal. Maybe there's a career, a project, some type of intention that you have in 2020. This is how that's going. The Lovers. So dedicate yourself fully to it and let that be the space that you kind of hold your goals in. Is like, it's a work, it's a love, it's a project, it's a passion. It's where all of that can really come from. And if you do it with love, if you do it with the support that you would want that project to have, if you're bringing that to life, this is the energy that you want to have on board with it, making decisions from that place, making investments from that place, getting clarity from that place. Really doing all of that work is going to be extraordinarily helpful for you. So the Lovers card is just highlighting that you want to treat it like you're in a full-time relationship with your endeavor, with your project. And then we have in your relationships, yes, this can absolutely be romantic for those of you who are wondering about that in 2020, but this can also, if you're not interested, this can be platonic relationships or those who are close to you. We have the Ace of Pentacles. I'm going to clarify this. Ten of Pentacles, or 10 of Diamonds in this. Okay, so it seems like there's a lot of foundational stuff happening relationship-wise in 2020. Whatever you initiate, wherever you might be starting fresh or getting the ball rolling, maybe you're getting back into dating, or maybe there's like initiation around a long-term thing in relationships, or maybe it's, cultivating the friend group that you want. Think about, where am I planting a seed, or where am I initiating with the relationship area of my life? That's going to give you clarity and answers around the long-term vision, the long-term picture of what you're building in terms of relationships. Maybe something is, it's kind of like the energy of the Ace of Pentacles is like moving in with a partner, or getting into a partnership, or finding those right people, getting into a connection with the right people in your life. It just seems like there's the right people coming into your space. So that's what the Ace of Pentacles is doing here for you. And then the Ten of Pentacles is saying this is long-term. So you have long-term attachment to the relationships that are in your life at this time. And that's what's going to continue to compound over time. It's kind of like the network that you build, the community that you build, as we have over here. The relationships that are kind of in the mix for you in 2020 are going to be a great support moving forward. And it's just a lot of setting yourself up for that long-term endeavor. All right, let's look at your material world. This is money, home, the material plane for you in 2020. Ooh, Nine of Pentacles. You've done a lot of work and there's a lot of payoff here. So this is about actually not having to work so hard. It's like you've already set everything up for your benefit. You've done the work, you've put in the time, you've put in the effort. It's showing that you actually have fruit that's starting to grow and that's able to be picked in 2020. This is an awesome card because if you have been putting in the work, if you have planted the seeds, if you have done all of that stuff, this is where things are now ripe for the picking. The one thing that you need to be really careful with, though, with the Nine of Pentacles, even though it's an awesome card to have, you don't want to just focus on what's next. You have to really marinate in the gratitude of the Nine of Pentacles in order for it to compound. And if you're just like, oh great, yes, all of these things are going really well. Oh yeah, I had that success, and brushing it off and moving on to the next one, you are going to be in a constant state of dissatisfaction. And so the more you can slow down with this, sink into the gratitude of what you have accomplished and what you have achieved, that's what's going to really develop and grow for you in 2020. So just understand you've come really far already. You've done a lot of the work. You've taken a lot of what you've already accomplished and just made it fruitful. So just continue to do the things that you're doing. It's kind of like, yes, keep up the good work. It's not that you need to ditch this and try a new approach. I think you've done enough refining around the material world in your career, in your material pursuits. It's like now you kind of just get to ride the wave rather than trying to reinvent the wheel for yourself. And then this is the advice for you in 2020. Stability. So stability is everything right here. I'm going to clarify this card as well. But it seems like there's the balance element of this, and then just anchoring into yourself and what makes you feel stable is going to magnify everything else that you have going on. Seven of Spades. So this is the Seven of Swords in a normal deck. And what I'm getting here is that this is an internal job. So the Seven of Swords is like a sneaky card. It's a hidden card. Like there's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes, or there's something that's going on that's hidden. And for you, that actually means the internal world, the part that isn't seen by the outside world. This is where the faith piece is really, really big. God, universe, divine source, listening quietly to yourself, being really gentle and tender with this process, and just refining the internal state, getting into that stability, anchoring into that is going to just make everything else take off. So make this the project. I'm getting, you already have the love relationship with what you're aiming at in 2020. Yes, you have these goals and ideas and stuff that you're all set up for. But this down here is kind of like stability is the secret sauce to everything else you have going on in 2020. Okay, so let's go into the timeline. First, second, third, and fourth quarter of 2020. They're fluid, of course. They're about 3 months, give or take. So the first quarter, we have the Knight of Cups. Knight of Cups. This is striking me as a person, quite honestly. You have the community card on the table. This could be someone that you're meeting. This could be someone coming back into the picture as far as someone who is supporting you somehow, right? So the Knight of Cups energy is someone who is a great space holder, a great supporter, right? This could be a healer in some capacity, or someone who's supporting your mission, someone who's supporting you in general, right? Or a really important contact that you're making. Yes, of course, there's always potential to find love throughout the year. It just is something that's dependent on what you have going on and what you've set your intention for. But I just wanted to mention that if love is a big focus, if that is what your priority is, then you have the Lovers up here in the project area. So this is showing me that, like, yes, that's absolutely on the table. The relationship piece is available to you. And so that is something that can come up if you're being really explicit about wanting that. And then second quarter of 2020, Four of Wands. This is the happy home card. Something to celebrate, joy, happiness, having a good time, finding, the stability piece is really potent right here, because it's very hard to celebrate, enjoy yourself, have fun if you're not feeling stable and secure. And so right here, the Four of Wands, because this is a big home card, your environment, and working on that stability, getting in the energy of stability is really giving a lot of energy to this. And then third quarter, we have the Queen of Swords, independence. This is you being solo. This is about knowing what you need to do. So it's the internal, I know, I'm ready, I'm locked and loaded. That's the energy of this card. And so she's super hot too. It's a great Queen of Swords card. So I'm just getting that it's like internal power, being able to get things done, make things happen, leading with just absolute alignment. That's what the Queen of Swords is really, really good at. So it seems like that's definitely built up in that third quarter. And then wrapping up 2020, we have the King of Cups. Again, it's so funky that these are both coming up as people. Might be the same person. Like maybe there is... Okay, so let's stick to a relationship. For you guys know I don't do this often. But let's say like this is your partner, your love interest, whatever, in this first quarter. It's almost like the journey of maturation, or it's growth, it's development, it's healing, it's a lot of stuff like that. There's a definite energy of that. However, stepping outside of the romantic piece, this is also like your development. This could be something where it's like you go from maybe wounded, unhealed, or uncertain, lack of clarity, into having full certainty in what you know to be true, that really developed part of yourself. And same thing goes for if you are building a lot of relationships in 2020, because that's definitely going to be a part of the equation with this community card. The relationship piece is something that you're really growing into, or that you're seeing develop more and more, even if this is like a healer that you start working with at the beginning of 2020, and then just seeing where things go and how you develop throughout that relationship. Because all of the healers that we work with, they're relationships. And so I'm just getting that there's a lot of movement in that area. Okay, let's do a 3-card pick. You guys know the drill unless you're new here. And you are just going to ask a question, ask for guidance, clarity, whatever it is that you're needing in this moment. Just check in. Deep breath into the diaphragm, noticing whichever card you either can't pull your eyes away from, or whichever one's really calling to you. Okay, card number 1, Eight of Pentacles. Putting in the work is worthwhile, right? It's not a wasted effort. It's like water your plants, do the nurturing, do the building, take each and every step, make it happen. Do this for yourself. You're worth the effort that you're giving over here. Now, part of the work can also be getting quiet, listening, slowing down. That can also be a part of the work. Even when you're in meditation, giving to yourself, that is also work. It's not just about burning the candle at both ends and taking a ton of action. You know, that's not always how this goes. So the Eight of Pentacles is reminding you that whatever work is happening for you is worthwhile. Card number 2, the Two of Swords. This is saying you're not going to have absolute clarity of how it's going to go. It's just not going to happen. So you don't need to stress over every what's going to happen, what's going to happen, what's going to happen, what if, what if, what if, what if, what if. The Two of Swords can kind of drive you mad if you're overly fixated on the outcome. And so the idea is to detach from the outcome as much as you can and be really present. Anytime you have like a blind card coming up, it's saying shift your focus away from where is it going to go and just bring it into what feels best, right, and true for me in this moment. If you start spiraling, that's the time to like sit in quiet. That's like a really good practice because you're only going to be able to focus on the repetitive thoughts for so long before you eventually have that empty space. And then card number 3, you have the Two of Pentacles, decision making. So think about your decisions as manifestations, right? If you say yes to one thing, what you want or what you have coming to you is not going to miss you. Like you're not going to miss that opportunity or that right thing for you. If it's meant for you, it's meant for you. And you also have free will. It's kind of that funky thing, even if you don't believe in free will, if you believe everything is predetermined, you still have the ability to choose in the moment, even if the outcome is the same no matter what. So this is about kind of taking pressure off of decisions because a lot of the time you're going to land in the same spot regardless. It's just that we need to go through the experience of finding ourselves, trusting ourselves, and walking through that first. So let yourself fall into that a little bit more. So this is like putting more attention on like the decision-making process. This is putting more attention on giving it effort, giving it time, watering the plant. So that's kind of how these two are different from each other. Thank you so much for joining me today, everybody. I absolutely appreciate each and every one of you. Don't forget, if you want to know which decks I used in this reading, they are listed in the description box. Don't forget to subscribe so you have more supportive videos throughout your 2020. And don't forget to watch your sun, moon, and rising if you haven't already. And if you want to know how to work with me one-on-one, go to onyxhealing.com or check out the description box for all of the fun stuff that I have to offer. And until next time, have a beautiful 2020, everybody, and I will talk to you later. Have a good one. Bye-bye.